rising exponentially over the last decade. Streaming. Like anything, comes with its own set of threats and opportunities to not only global, but what I want to look at today, local screen industries here in Australia. When it comes to local screen production and consumption, I see Australia's biggest problem being our lack of audience. Not because of any disinterest in media here, but rather our population size. Due to a comparatively small population, we have an inherently lower audience pool, leading to lower revenues, resulting in smaller production budgets from reserved funding bodies with not much to give out or gamble on. When it comes to the business side of cinema, the more profitable option ends up being massive Hollywood productions, with not only big budgets, but with high global marketing budgets to match, which has long dominated our local market. But herein lies the advantage streaming services can offer us. With 63.8% of Australians subscribing to at least one streaming service, able to watch a massive range of movies and TV in their own time and comfort, outside the constraints of program time slots. And that's just here. Globally, Netflix alone boasts 222 million subscribers worldwide, over 175 million with Amazon Prime Video, and around 130 million with Disney+, opening the floodgates to a massive global market for upcoming filmmakers here and around the world to stake their case and make their mark. With local creatives in desperate need of funding that just isn't enough from government, streaming services are stepping in and backing our Australian industry, investing a massive $630 million compared to the previous government's $53 million. Not only is this an enormous boost as a whole, but an incredible opportunity for newer and more diverse creatives to pursue alternative channels of funding and potentially get these companies to take a chance on an idea that would otherwise be rejected for being too big of a risk from those more restricted and traditional formats. Not to mention skipping over the need for a costly cinema-wide release, trying to compete with spots bought out by larger Hollywood and international establishments. However, whilst this potential sounds good, there are some harsh realities to face. Since many of these companies are international besides Stan, they don't have to adhere to our specific government's regulations on media, not in the way traditional forms such as free-to-air television have to, with no legal requirement to house or fund a minimum percentage of Australian-made productions on their sites. And pushing to make that happen may only backfire, as at the end of the day, they are their own private companies, and if they felt like they weren't making a good enough return based on Australian productions, regulatory pressure, or audience numbers, they can just pack up and leave the country. Not to mention the competitive effect they have on those traditional forms of media, both television and cinema, which account for many people in our industry's livelihood. All up, while streaming services pose a threat to traditional forms of media and our regulations in Australia, they open up our industry to a whole new and widespread international audience.